So, Lance Stroll, surprise, surprise, signs another year for Aston Martin and possibly more. It's like that great line from Jurassic Park. They were so concerned with whether they could. They forgot to think about whether they should, or something like that. And that's exactly what we will be tackling here. Should they have signed Lance Stroll? Should Lance Stroll even be in Formula One? So that is the million, literally in this case, dollar question. $80 million question. More on that in a bit. So, reports, Aston Martin announces a new deal for Lance Stroll for 2025. And this is from motorsport.com and beyond. Yes, the Canadian stays on at the Silverstone-based squad for what is a 6th season. Now, Aston Martin, they've announced today, as in the 27th of June, that he's going to stay for next year and beyond, and it's being billed as a contract extension for the Canadian driver, who's, as you probably are aware, if you're watching this, whose dad owns the team. Now, Stroll, he's raced at Aston since 2019, and his father, Lawrence's consortium, purchased the assets of what was then the Force India team squad the following year. The one good thing, I think, that's come out of Lance Stroll being in Formula One is we have saved Force India, essentially the old Jordan team, and they've made it Aston Martin, which is fantastic. But that's the one good thing. I think everything else is bad. But then you've got the one good thing, which is quite a lot, and then you've got lots of medium to little bad things. Do they weigh each other up? I don't know. But he's completed 112 races so far for the team, scoring a best result of 3rd twice in the 2020 Italian and Sakir events. Now, Aston has made the announcement of a contract extension for Stroll, who previously raced in F1 for Williams after graduating as a European Formula 3 champion in 2017. But in effect, he competes essentially what is a rolling contract, given his family's ownership of the team. Yes, his family's ownership of the team. So the end date of his previous contract was unknown, as it has not been formally disclosed how long Stroll was tied to race for the Aston, beyond the arrangement of being called a long-term deal when it was announced in late 2018. But given his consistently poor results, and that's compared to Fernando Alonso, and with plenty of drivers seeking a future for 2025, this turbulent driver market, questions over Stroll's future naturally has arisen. And in making this announcement, sad for some, I guess, it ends a lot of speculation for Aston Martin. It ends a lot of speculation for Aston Martin trying to be a serious Formula One team. I'm going to stay calm. But okay, Lance has said, I'm super happy to have committed to staying with the team for 25 and beyond. Really, it's amazing to see how far we've come in the last 5 years. They've grown so much, I think, really, Lance, but have you though? So much as a team, and there's still so much more to look forward to. Aston Martin team principal Mike Crack said, we are delighted. This is what we are delighted, absolutely, to confirm Lance's future with Aston Martin. Is he delighted though? The amount of times I've seen, and I don't know if you agree. Comment below. Let me know if you don't. The amount of times we've seen Lance make a very obvious mistake. I'm going to push my trainer. I'm going to act like a toddler on TV, and the team defend him because they know his dad is the boss. And you don't see even like Toto Wolff, occasionally Fred Vassar. They've come out and they're very calm about it, but even they are not against criticising sometimes their drivers, where you never really see that at Aston Martin. It's almost like they're too scared to say what they think. Lawrence Stroll, is he like some big Bond villain running a Formula One team with a son? It kind of reminds me almost, although this is dramatised, if you've watched the Gran Turismo film, the naughty person driving, I think, the gold Lamborghini and that with I think his dad running the team. With dad investing a lot of money in there, and the team a bit too scared. Apart from that one mechanic that ends up joining the Gran Turismo essentially team. But I digress. So Mike Crack goes on with his propaganda. He's played a key role in building this team. His father has, so he has. Because if Stroll wasn't there, would his father fund the team? So yeah, fair point. His technical feed. His technical feedback, alongside his committed simulator work, possibly, has helped contribute to the continuous development of the car each season, which has got worse, let's be honest, from the beginning to the end of the season. Now, the consistency and stability of both Lance and Fernando remaining with our team is a great platform to continue to realise our ambitions. We look forward to creating some more incredible memories and achieving further success together. Now, there is little doubt that Stroll wasn't going to keep his place. There was much speculation over Alonso's future, but as we know, that was established in April. So it's Stroll and Alonso to go ahead. Alonso is currently on 41 points. Lance Stroll is on 17. So let's just remind ourselves, shall we, of Lance Stroll and how he has done this year. Yeah, let's have a look. We've done it before, but I'm gonna do it again because we can. Let's have a look, shall we? This is I believe, China, and yeah, under the safety car. Let's see that again. Oh, under the safety car. One more time. Third time, hitting Daniel Ricciardo under the safety car, and then blaming Daniel Ricciardo for it. Now the issue is he doesn't. This is Lance Stroll now, absolutely refusing to take any accountability. This is, I think, in the press conference for the next race. Let's have a look, shall we?
Yeah, I mean, it's history now. I'm focused on this weekend. I don't really want to go too much into detail about it. It was unfortunate, for sure. I was also, trying to have a good race, and it was a very, unfortunate.
I mean, look at his face. I question, is he even taking it seriously? I mean, it's just his
ending to it, but
his smile. I don't understand. It's almost like, and we've seen it before, where he looks absolutely disinterested. Fair enough. That might just be a tick of his face, or maybe that's just nerves.
Not for this room.
Not for this room, but probably, we don't know whether they ended up speaking. But this is the incident, and this is his interview just after hitting. Daniel Ricciardo after the race, which is potentially a bit more telling.
Well, Lance, it was looking like a great race, and then that weird incident at the turn 14 hairpin. What happened from your point of view?
I think it was a Constantina effect in the hairpin. Someone braked in front, and then I think it was like everyone kind of braked, and the car in front of me just stopped right in front of me. I had nowhere to go.
The car in front, so it's a Constantina effect. He knew this. The car in front of him stopped right in front of me, and I had nowhere to go. Why didn't any of the other cars end up hitting each other then? Why didn't you say, yeah, maybe I could have done a bit better?
It was just one of those really weird racing incidents.
Weird wasn't a racing incident though, was it, Lance Stroll? It was just you having absolutely zero spatial awareness of where your car is, which is something that you've been criticised before.
10-second penalty for you in that incident. Are you going to question that or?
Yeah, I don't understand it. It was really just.
I don't understand the 10-second penalty of hitting a car under the safety car, going slow.
Racing incidents, which I guess because I was the one that hit the guy in front of me that I got the penalty, but I think someone caused that in front of.
Someone caused that. So yeah, it's basically all about Lance Stroll. No, it's not me. It's not me. By the way, it is very much not me. If anyone, I'll try and link it down below. It is slightly, I don't want to say controversial, but rocket powered. I think rocket powered Mohawk. I've seen had a video about Lance Stroll, which obviously it's quite clearly he's not a fan of Lance Stroll. But in the second half, and we'll get into it into this video, he makes some really, really interesting points, which I'm going to most certainly reiterate here. So the race, though, has done an article saying 4 consequences of F1's most predictable driver market move, and they're obviously talking about Lance Stroll. But they said they've continued by saying this is still a move with consequences, particularly considering the new deal will mean he races alongside Fernando when Aston partners with Honda for the new rules in 2026. They'll also benefit from the first Aston F1 car developed in the team's new wind tunnel. You just need to look at McLaren. They've got their wind tunnel up and running and how they're doing there. Absolutely brilliant. And they put underperformance, they put big letters here. Can I quickly share? underperformance isn't a big concern. Yes, thank you, the race. I like that. Underperformance. So they put Aston clearly isn't worried about the tricky patches of form that Stroll's often found himself in. They said he trails Aston's points tally 17 to 41, Alonso's points tally, sorry, so far in 25, and you can make a strong argument that he cost Aston, I think he very much did, fourth in that Constructors last year to McLaren, albeit his pre-season injury played a role too. Yeah, that was one of the good things. To be fair to Lance, that pre-season injury I thought was a bit silly. Driving with a broken wrist, I don't think many people could have done it. Fair play to Lance, that must have been really difficult, and he had a really good Bahrain Grand Prix. Fair play, Lance. I was genuinely, that was more impressive than your Williams podium. That you achieved in Azerbaijan. I was genuinely impressed. Well done. And they put this year he has a qualifying deficit of around 2/10 to Alonso and has made 3 Q3 appearances to Alonso's 6. So being 2/10 behind Alonso is arguably a lot better than Sergio Perez is currently doing to Max Verstappen. But they said it's by no means an intra-team whitewash against a driver of Alonso's merit. And it's a far cry from the miserable run of form Stroll suffered after the summer break last year. But Aston's still willing to have one driver, they said, who contributes half the points that his teammate does, putting the team in a similar camp to Red Bull among the top 5 teams with one superstar. They've got, for example, Max Verstappen, they're using the example, and a second driver, Sergio Perez and Stroll, who has little hope of becoming the team's spearhead. Amen. They mentioned that Red Bull have given Perez a contract in the middle of a dire run of form, and Stroll's extension at least comes after a run of races where, to be fair to Lance Stroll, currently he's been relatively close, and Red Bull and Aston Martin lineups both have weak spots that Ferrari, for example, Mercedes and McLaren do not heading into 2025. And here's the thing, if you were a sponsor for Aston Martin for 2024, going into 2025 and 2026 beyond, how can you take this team seriously? You have Dragovic, Dragovic in, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, in the wings, who's arguably more talented than Lance Stroll. You have other drivers on the grid that are potentially going to be unemployed that are more talented than Lance Stroll. F2 drivers up and coming that are more talented than Lance Stroll, potentially. Well, I think, yeah, it's fair to say they probably are. And yet you employ this guy, I get it, nepotism, but how then, when you're not employing the 2 potentially best drivers for the job, and I guess Red Bull have done this as well, but Red Bull are in a different position. How, as a sponsor, can you take that team sponsoring a team that you have to question whether they want to be number one? The fact that they're still employing this guy. Now, I know Lawrence Stroll wants his son to win a race, be successful in Formula One, be world champion, and that's a dad. That's absolutely his right. But then it contravenes with the fact that he's clearly not going to be he might be an F1 winner, maybe a champion, but let's be fair, that's a lot of miracles are going to have to happen for that too. Is it absolutely impossible? No, we could always have a Brawn situation where he is, the guy, he has won a championship before. We'll get on that in a minute. But how can you take this team seriously if they're not trying to go for the 2 best drivers? Now, on the evidence, the race says, of an extremely harmonious partnership. And to be fair, Alonso never criticises Lance Stroll either. But moving on, there'll be at least no team-dividing fight for supremacy. In fact, Alonso pointed out that he'd never had a teammate like Stroll over his 2 decades and repeated his hope that Stroll would lead the team when he exits. He said it's great news. He knows the team very well. Aside from a couple of years in Williams, he spent his career in this environment with the same group of people. He can improve things by knowing what Aston was in the past, what it is now, how things have changed for better or worse. He has all this background, Alonso said about Stroll's deal. Talking about that he's getting on, he's dedicated, and we all thought that maybe Stroll was going to go to WEC, where he might find a really good niche for himself. When they for 2025, Aston Martin does plan to go to the World Endurance Championship. And they said much is made of Stroll's apparent ambivalence towards F1, but he's repeatedly said he loves racing, and it's easy to see why having a continued presence in a team that scored 8 podiums with teammate Alonso last year would be appealing to him. There are a few racing drivers on Earth who would turn down a long-term deal with a factory F1 team with their options to remain in F1 otherwise. Let's be fair, no one who, other than maybe for Daddy to invest, who's going to really sign Lance Stroll for 2025 other than his own team? And this long-term commitment it's just absolutely crazy. So Tsunoda's Honda extension now has been closed off. Yuki Tsunoda, a man who I think has more talent at the moment than Perez and Lance Stroll, and his hopes of landing a seat with a factory Honda team in 2026 seem to be slim. Everyone thought maybe, he's getting that 1 year deal with RB for next year, and then it'll be Honda potentially for 2026. But yeah, it would seem that the engine partner Honda can offer its recommendation to for drivers, but apparently they don't think it's got any power on who occupies the seats. He's got a faint hope, they're suggesting, that Aston may sign him at some point, but but there we go. And if Aston gets it right in 2026, that will be good. But will they? There are rumours that they may well be signing Adrian Newey, but I guess let's see. So, should Lance Stroll be in Formula 1? As you can probably guess, no, I don't think he should. There's a report on Auto Week, this is November the 4th, dated November the 4th, 2016. Let me just share this with you. The report is essentially, Lance Stroll's father spent $80 million to get his son a Formula 1 seat. That's 80 million, 8-0. So, yeah, 80 million. So Lance Stroll's billionaire father spent nothing short of an incredible 80 million to help his 18-year-old son secure the 2017 Formula 1 seat with Williams. That's the claim of the German media outlet, this is Automotor und Sport, as Williams confirmed this week the badly kept secret that the Canadian will race alongside Valtteri Bottas. This is 2016. And Lance said, everyone has their own opinion. I can't change that. Lance Stroll is quoted by, saying at the Times, I come from money. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. Fair enough. But I believe I won my shot in F1 because I won every championship I've competed in. The report claims his father, the fashion mogul and billionaire Lawrence Stroll, he didn't buy, I think he bought shares in it, but I don't think he bought the team outright, but he bought the Prima F3 team and installed a well-known Ferrari engineer, Luca Baldessari, to oversee Lance's rise. Young Stroll was then the clear number one driver this year, benefiting from F1 engineers seconded to his F3 campaign and a special simulator installed at the Grove's base. He also embarked on a round of the World Test program with a 2014 Williams, supported by a staff of 5 Mercedes engineers and 2 engines prepared specifically by Mercedes. Stroll's F1 test program went to Silverstone, Hungary, Monza, Austria, Barcelona, Abu Dhabi, Austin and Sochi, and he was still bad despite that. Let's not beat about the proverbial bush. He was still utter rubbish. When you look at how many, the last rookie with as many kilometres for testing for his debut was, drum roll, Jacques Villeneuve. Jacques Villeneuve, who finished runner-up on a championship. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not expecting Lance Stroll, because the Williams wasn't the best car. He did get a podium in his debut year, but let's be fair, 2/3 of the grid, pretty much the sea parted for him to get that podium, because there were so many issues for people like Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and some to get that podium. But still, yes, it was a podium. So not only all this he had the advantage of, Lawrence Stroll paid for a new high-tech simulator at the Williams race shop, which Williams F1 drivers Bottas and Felipe Massa could not use throughout the year, as it was collaborated for Formula 3. Lance told Germany's Auto Bild, motorsport is a sport where money is important, of course, so I'm happy that my father helps me. Yeah, well, I guess he is happy that his father helps him. And this is absolutely ridiculous. So Prima, and this is from Autosport, it's all going to be linked in the description. Prima orders helped Stroll ruining European Formula 3, a certain George Russell has stated. So Williams protege Stroll, whose father invested in the Prima power team. This was their Formula 3 championship that he won the first race of the opening round. As we know, he had lots of help after making an easy pass on teammate Nick Cassidy as they started the second lap. Poleman Stroll lost the advantage, surprise, but Cassidy locked up at turn 1, allowing his teammate back onto his tail. Cassidy then claimed, at the last corner I grabbed first go by accident. In the last 5 laps I was not so confident with the track damp. I just wanted to do a clean enough job. And he was asked, but George Russell, who I'd argue has more talent in his right arm than Stroll has in his entire body, who finished third with the new team High-Tech Grand Prix, countered, I feel sorry for Nick to have to give his position up to Lance on the first lap of the race is bad for the championship. He was, I mean, there we go. You can see it clear as day there. He was on the back of Lance throughout the race, and it's a bit of a shame if the championship is going to pan out this way. High-Tech don't have a way of protecting me like Prima do. It's a shame you can't get anywhere in the sport without paying for it, while normal guys like myself and Ben Barnacote are trying to compete for the championship. Nick can talk about his mistakes, but it's complete and utter rubbish. Russell did pay tribute to the Prima team, saying the Italian squad setup was superior. He said, I'm not taking away from Prima. They had the speed and advantage over us, but we want a fair fight, and it's not fair at the moment, with everyone, obviously, the love interest they have for Lance of the Stroll. Yeah, so, I mean, wow. Just whoops-a-daisy, just absolutely wow. I'm just going to try and fix the green screen there somewhat, but I just don't get it. So, Lance Stroll, this is the man that has had pretty much every advantage you can think of, and he's still rubbish. He started, I mean, all the way back, 2016, for the Williams. So he is arguably now a veteran of Formula One, and he is utter rubbish. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Lance, I mean Lance Stroll. He even said in an interview that the super license is there. Simply, the super license is there. Let me find this, because this may be upset. There we go. I think this is it. Let's just try. There we go. Okay. So let's transfer here. Here we go. Let's listen. Let's listen to this, shall we? With a hot up 2. Bear with me. I'm just trying to get the thing right. Google screen capture. Okay.
What are the requirements?
Yeah, so you got to win like series going up to F1. So I think depending on the series, so you got to get like a total of 40 points.
Eddie, how do you get
like series going up to F1? So I think depending on the series, so you got to get like a total of 40 points. 40 super license points they call it. So if you win like F4, for example, you get like 12 points. I think
you do.
Might be
something
wrong.
Like that.
Okay.
But something like that, 10 or 12 points, and then like if you're second in F4, you get like, I don't know, 6 points. I'm making up a number right now. And then when you get to the like higher categories, that number goes up. So like F3, you get 40 points for winning F3.
Okay.
So you gotta, it basically just like, I think the system is to, keep the guys that don't deserve to be there, like from just like buying their way through the junior series and getting to F1. Like it makes like the guys that win deserve and earn their spot to get.
Deserve and earn those spots. It keeps the guys that don't deserve to get to Formula One. Well, it didn't, did it? Because Lance Stroll somehow got to Formula One. You see in the headline there, 80 million from your dad. It's an I just cannot believe. I don't get. I mean, yeah, he's there. We all know he's there because of his dad. We all know Lance Stroll is there because of nepotism. So if you don't know the definition of nepotism, Lance Stroll is there because of nepotism. I mean, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. It's just so frustrating. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But there we go. So, if you like what you see, give us a subscribe. I can't believe that, Ambit. I can't believe that, Ambit. Comment below. Let us know what you think about Lance Stroll. Does he deserve to be in Formula One? We're saying no, but you probably guessed that at the beginning of the video. We'll speak to you soon.